Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. Me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we will be talking athletics on the Nigerian scene. We will also take a look at what is happening as the Nigeria Premier League begins to wind down. We'll also talk about the English Premier League. Two teams have gained promotion into the Premier League. Some teams fighting to stay on top. And of course, the ones that have been relegated. We'll look at all of that, all for you on the show tonight. We urge you to sit back and relax as we take you along this trip on the money spinning, entertaining, and rewarding world of sports. This is a two-man show, as you already know. My colleague Austin Okona is suited and ready as we take you along on this ride.
Well, greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed world of sports. Yes, you mentioned it. Action going down in the English Premier League. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. It's 1-1. We're monitoring that one. Let's see what we come out of it, particularly a must-win game for Manchester City playing right there at the Etihad Stadium. Also, it's good to see that athletics is getting attention in Nigeria, particularly as we get ready for next month's federation's elections. Very, very important. Leadership will be at the forefront once again. We're now getting so close. Yemi, it's this close to knowing we will become champion of the Nigeria Premier Football League. And what a season we've had. Remo Stars needed to put workings into that travel to Ibadan, and they did just that. Are they ready to make history? We'll see.
Definitely, we'll see. Before we go into the conversation about athletics, around athletics, of course, I'm going to allow Austin to do us the honors and set the tone for that. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Kehinde Idris joins us this lovely Tuesday evening. Greetings to you, Kehinde. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight. I must say it's been a while, but it's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Yes, it's been a while. Although I've been on the show, I think so many times with CC, but you know, fantastic. When I saw the lineup, I'm particularly taken by athletics. On some other platform, you know, I've asked a couple of questions. What is happening to athletics in Nigeria as of now? I've seen bodies organize some competitions, but talking about the federal, the entire country, I think athletics needs a lot of questions. And these are points where, when the conversation starts, I would like to just sit, keep quiet, and listen, because I want to really know deep down issues that is going down with athletics. It's one of our strengths. What's happening to it right now? A whole lot of questions needs to be answered. But for the NPFL, fantastic race all the way down to the final day.
All right, all the way down to the final day. A fantastic race. Some people saying give it to Remo Stars already. We'll see some matches left to be played. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, let me allow Austin to set the tone. Of course, we're going to start with athletics. We have a special guest for our viewers. Austin will take us through that. And we'll try to have a robust conversation on what is happening in Nigeria with regard athletics.
It's important, yes, that we'll have that conversation, because I think right after the Olympics, we stopped talking about athletics, particularly because quite a number of persons were asking questions as regards where we're going with our athletics. And now leadership is in the conversation because we're getting ready for the Federation's election. So on the show tonight, we'll have the former Technical Director of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Sunday Adele, will be joining us from our Abuja studio. We're waiting for him to join us there. Sunday Adele, good evening. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Thank you, Austin. It's nice having you guys around, and I'm happy being back home at Channels today.
Awesome, Sunday. Let's get into it quickly. I know you've been having a lot of talks. You've been looking at the athletics environment in Nigeria. What areas do you think we should give attention as we get ready for the Federation's elections?
Well, I think the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, or athletics in general in Nigeria, needs a total overhauling. And then, of course, because I think we've derailed from some of our givings, and then looking at our strength, of course, we've neglected the long-distance area that belongs to us also. So we have to start looking at those areas and looking at the technical areas as well. So we'll pick it gradually from there.
A lot, because I think we've got the potentials, but what's lacking? Because we're now getting into the marathons, they're looking good. Do we lack the talents?
Well, that is absurd to say. Sorry to use that word because Nigeria is full of talent. We have these talents. You can even see them on the street. Just your next door neighbor is a talent. So the problem is converting those talents into stars. You know, once you have a administrative issue problem, or you have a technical problem, or how to channel those energies of those talents into actual professionalism or professionals in that field, it becomes a problem. Then those talents are wasted. You know, you can't. So we have some people who identify those talents, but how do you convert them? Becomes another problem.
Tell us, before I hand you over to my colleague in Lagos, how do we harness those talents? You want to become the president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. How do we get things in motion, Sunday Adelaide?
Austin, you recall 2017 when we came on board as the federation, and I became the technical director. What I did actually was, of course, discovering talent. We had to set out scouts out there to go to schools, organize competitions for schools to discover talent. You recall that in the history of Athletics Federation of Nigeria, I am the first technical director that will come out with a war chest to say, look, I want to take out athletes for international competitions with a very small finance and support. You recall that I took 125 athletes in the history of Nigeria. No technical director, no board has ever done it. Taking 125 athletes and 15 officials to Abidjan then, which I was crucified for. And of course, those talents today are the ones that you see today. Those talents of yesterday that I discovered and took out for those competitions are the ones out there that are doing Nigeria proud today. Over 70% of those athletes are in the US, of course, that gain scholarship, and they are out there doing Nigeria proud. But you know, you must understand that when you discover talent without exposure, it becomes useless. It becomes a waste. When we discover these athletes, take them out, expose them to competition, eliminate that competition freight, and then that's all. That's all they need. These athletes just need to compete and go out there and see other compatriots or other opponents from other countries and see how they do it. And they come out with that war chest and say, look, we want to break our leg for our country and want to represent our country and give our family name out there for Nigerians to celebrate.
All right, thanks for joining us, Mr. Adelaide, Yemi here in Lagos. I want to throw this in quickly. You've identified the problems. I'm reading some quotes, quotes attributed to you. You said you've studied nations, you've seen how they do it and how to be successful. I want to ask a question. Is the job, you've talked about the problems, but the job to get athletics, return it to the glory days, is it a job for one person? You talked about how state federations and how all of these things can run. So I'm asking you, because especially now that we are looking at elections and all that, is it something one person can do? I'm asking that question against the backdrop of people who come and say a lot of things. At the end of the day, they'll come back and tell you that I couldn't do it because of this, this, and this. So I'm asking from the onset, is it something a person gets to a certain position and is able to fix all the problems?
You can't go alone. This go is not a go that you go alone. You, of course, need the support of everybody. All hands must be on deck. You understand? You need the stakeholders to work with you as the president or the leader of the federation. Of course, you need experts, you need ex-athletes, you need them to come on board to support you because they are the ones that fit on the shoes before and know where it pains. You know, it's different from when you have people out there that have not practiced athletics or have never competed to come out to say they want to champion this business. It becomes a fluke. It becomes difficult for them to achieve something. So one person cannot go alone. You need the support of an entire team. That is why, for example, you need the support from the state, from the grassroots. It comes up to the national level. Of course, as the former technical director, why I succeeded then was because I had to identify coaches and say, look, if you are a coach for junior, you have no business with the senior athlete. So the coaches for junior stays with junior, the intermediary stays with intermediary, and the senior stays with senior. But these days you see different people, the same person or somebody doing the same thing, so you have issues. So nobody can go alone. So we need everybody to come together as a team and then, of course, drive the process forward.
All right, let me also throw this in quickly. How long will it take? I mean, you've talked about the right things, putting square peg, square holes, support, cooperation, funding. We can go on and on talking about all of those things. But let's assume we have a situation, whether you or anybody who gets to be on the saddle does the right thing. How long will it take before we begin to see the results? Because on this side, we're journalists and we also have people who are just supporters. Everybody likes good results. Realistically, once you start doing the right things, how long will it take before we start seeing the results? Realistically.
Yeah, it's a plug and play thing. If you understand the business and you know it, it's a plug and play. You have the materials you need on ground. It's just for you to be able to assemble them. Go back to the statistic. Of course, now the NCAA has just started. The outdoor is on. Go and look. You see the performance of Nigerian athletes out there. These youngsters going out there to do exploit, doing great things out there. So we have these athletes that are ready. It's just for the administrative arm to be able to assemble, to bring these guys together, put a team together, and we drive. Then, of course, we start building, of course, below those ones and bringing other ones up. But we can't just say, oh, we need 10 years, we need 5 years to restructure. No, it's a get-go thing. There's no time. Time waits for nobody. Jamaica will not wait for you. America will not, US will not wait for you. The Europeans will also not wait for you. So if you see the ratio of Nigerian athletes in the US today, in the collegiate system, we have this pool of talents. So we are ready. It's just to get the right person there in the office, which I believe is myself, going there to fix this thing, and then we'll get it going.
All right, since you talk about the collegiate system, it prompts me to ask this question before I yield back to my colleague, Austin. There's this notion, I don't know if it's wrong, you can correct me if you think it's wrong. There's this notion that it will take a longer time to achieve anything with athletes here. But it's quite easier to begin to sports talent when you see somebody that has a Nigerian name. You talk about plug and play, pick some of those guys and begin, to make them represent Nigeria, which of course has its own problems. So do you agree that taking athletes here, investing in them will take longer time than, looking abroad and seeing those who have already been trained, gone through that system, and begin to work with those ones? Do you agree with that notion?
I totally disagree with that notion because, of course, even before now, you have the superstars. You have a lot of athletes that were home-based athletes that were doing exploit, of course. Now, I remember as the technical director, what I do is that those days is like, okay, if you have an athlete from the US that is coming from the US and he's coming with, he's running a 10-1, for example, in the 100 meters. And then I have another athlete in Nigeria that is running a 10-3. I think I need to put more energy, of course, on that athlete that runs 10-3 because, of course, the guy in America wakes up with good life, everything is all there for him. You get it. When you talk about equipment, you talk about facilities, he has everything going for him. Then this person here in Nigeria, the athlete here, that is going through tough times, difficult times to train and gets to a 10-3, of course, with a little push, with good coaching, with good dieting, he will be out there doing it. So we need is a balanced thing. We need everybody together, and then and that is what we have. Everybody cannot be in the collegiate system. Everybody cannot be in school in the US. We have some fantastic athletes in Nigeria, of course, that are in the universities in Nigeria here, and they are doing very great. Of course, the United States schools will not call these athletes if they were not doing very well back home here. So performance, of course, home here speaks a lot. So it's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there, which, of course, when you talk about the dieting, you talk about good training, you talk about facilities, and then, of course, the coaching, and we'll be there.
Sunday Adeleye, wrap this up for me. And I like the things you're saying because you're a former athlete, so you understand the language. But this is administration we're talking about. You've talked about what you did in the past. But let's look at the race towards the leadership of the AFN. You're going against your former boss, Ibrahim Gusso. There's Commodore Nasiana in the midst. There is the current president of the AFN, Tony Okoa. What is it about you that makes you stand out for this race? Wrap it up for me, please.
Well, of course, experience counts. I've been there as an athlete. I've been there as an administrator. I've been there, in all the fields. So I understand the business. You understand it. Everybody on the team, they are fantastic gentlemen. They are people that I've worked with one way or the other. We are friends. We're family. You understand it. But of course, everybody is going to go the goal and see how we can come out to better the athletics in Nigeria. We're all going there for the same purpose, but of course, we need to understand that we need people who understand this business to drive it. It's not about our own interest first, it's about the interest of Nigeria, because it pains us as ex-athletes to see that, of course, the administrative arm is acting too faulty. And then, of course, why the technical arm is doing well, or the athletes are giving their all, and the administrative arm is not delivering. So, I believe I have all what it takes to get on board and to drive the whole process.
Sunday Adeleye, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best. We'll keep you in the conversation, and then hopefully we'll get you back on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it. Former Technical Director of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Sunday Adeleye, speaking to us from our Abuja studio. Kehinde Idris, you heard the man. Interesting times are here. This is where you hear, it's like the transfer season in football, the silly season. You get to hear all sorts. But what do you think when you look at athletics in Nigeria and put it side by side with what Sunday Adeleye talked about?
Looking at athletics in Nigeria, particularly Kehinde Idris, I'm not happy. It feels like it's taking a back seat, and athletics has a large foe. Look at the Olympics and all of that, Probably you take football, basketball, every other angle is athletics. You will be talking about 50 gold medals, 200 gold medals for a particular, country, and all is under athletics. So there is a whole lot we can achieve if we put athletics in, if we fix it, and was seeing that we're not fixing. Now, while Adeleye was talking, I jotted down a lot. Probably I'll start from the last when he said the technical and also the administrative. The technical, the players, the coaches, and all of that. I've said it time and time again on this show that the athletes, the coaches, they'll wake every morning, do their bit, that is practice, get themselves ready and all of that, drop sweat and blood and all. All I ask every time is, what do the administrators do every day to better athletics, in this case, to better athletics going forward? Huge question. So probably Adeleye might just be, I'm quite taken by him because he's young. I don't know, probably inject of fresh blood. He's been there before, but because he's young and he has also done athletics. Now, one of the things he said, discovering talent without exposure. I can remember Bose Ojomu, first exposure internationally. When she went for a table tennis competition, she came back. Interviewing her, I took out some, she said, now I know that different parts of the world have different service style. If that is the only lesson you learned for your first exposure, do you know how long that ago said Asians have a way they serve, Americans have a way they serve, the Africans have a way they serve, and all of that? He said, you can't go this goal alone. If you discover that, then there is a whole lot. Then, coaches for different stages. See, I've said that time and time again, football probably, but I think it cuts across everything.
So we move on now. We go on to football and talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. And it's getting interesting. Kehinde Idris, before we go to Austin, let me just quickly get your thoughts. And I keep asking people, it looks like what is happening in the English Premier League, it looks inevitable that Liverpool is going to win. Does it look like that in the Nigeria Premier League? Some people are saying, just give Remo stars. Austin is one of the few saying, don't say that just yet.
Yeah.
You agree with him?
You're pardoned to be careful. We're on 34 games, 4 more games to go. That's 12 more points to be accrued. 8 points lead for Remo Stars. Mathematically, Remo Stars are not safe. What if they fumble the rest 4 games?
It's
and
possible.
then Rivers
Mathematically,
United,
but in reality.
Mathematically, in reality.
I don't see it
I doubt if that would happen. But, mathematically still ties our hands. And I think what Remo Stars did over the weekend is one of those reminders that we won't fumble this. We'll go ahead and make it. Yes, there was a time they were on double-figure lead, and now it's cut down to a single figure. But it's still 8 points, and that's the way to go. Sometimes it's not so easy, but you need to continue to remind us, polish your credentials of, being good enough to win this. And I love the teams pushing Remo Stars. I think maybe Remo Stars will continue to get better this season as it even pushes forward, 3 more games, 2 more games, because of those teams behind. It's super competitive. Yemi, I've said it time and time again, if not for maybe some shenanigans here and there, after the EPL, I think the entire world should have their eyes fixed on the Nigerian Professional Football League.
I think so too.
There is a whole lot of competition. We talk about Oriental Derby, talk about Southwestern Derby, crazy games here and there, and it's super competitive. Look at, if you're talking of the league winning, you come back to the top 3, teams who want to make the top 3, and then you go to the relegation war, because it's going down there as serious war. And I think that what makes a good league, where you can look at different categories of the table, and you're talking of nobody's at rest until the final day, and I'm loving every bit of it. Remo Stars, well done. Probably we Southwesterners, kind of happy it's coming home.
Is it really? Okay, I'm going to go across now and take a look at the results, the top 4, the bottom 4. Then, of course, our future matches. Also is going to run us through that. It's going to be interesting. We'll talk about Shooting Stars and Remo Stars, Academy Warriors and Ikorodu City. Then we'll also talk about Lobby Stars and Rangers. Those were the places where some interesting things happened. All right, so match day 34 results. The Aba Elephants, this was a game you would have loved to see any day, anytime. The Aba Elephants talk about Enyimba beating Kano Pillars 2-1. Lobby Stars losing at home to the Flying Antelopes. This was the game I was referencing. Katsina United hammering Abia Warriors 5-1. El Kadami Warriors held to a 1-0 draw by Ikorodu City. I think I need to eat the humble pie with Ikorodu City. They didn't start well, but they've turned it around. And the initial struggles look like a dream now. Nobody remembers anymore. All right. Niger Tornadoes and Bayelsa United was also, share of the spoils. 1 goal apiece, ended 1-1. All right. Some of the results, match day at 4. Let's quickly flip through the other results. The Nasa Millionaires, Heartland, Pillar Gullers Road, Kwara United, Plateau United had a slim 1-0 victory over Aqua United, and Aqua United in a position that you wouldn't want them to be if you're a big fan, if you're a fan of the Promise Keepers. Then you also have Rivers United keeping the pressure on, like Kehinde Idris said, defeated the Akure Gunners, Sunshine Stars. Then you have Shooting Stars. I didn't expect this. I didn't see this happening. Remo Stars going all the way to Ibadan and doing the job. If it had been a draw, we'll have been saying something different. If they've lost, we'll be saying something different. But they kept us talking. They won the game by a lone goal. And, of course, Bendel Insurance played a 1-0 draw. Was the last game on Sunday. Played a 1-0 draw with Nasarawa United. Let's quickly show our viewers the top 4 and the bottom 4 before we begin to look at our feature matches. Austin is ready to take us through on all of that. Remo Stars sitting pretty, it must be said, sitting pretty after 34 matches, and they have 65 points, a goal difference of plus 19. Remo Stars, they have one hand on that trophy, whether you agree or not. Followed by Rivers United, 58 points, goal difference of plus 8. Ikorodu City, 53 points, goal difference of plus 17. Then Abia Warriors, of course, with 53 points. Of course, they didn't help themselves with that loss to Katsina United. They probably, will be above Ikorodu City if they had gone on, probably to get a draw or they've won that game. Bottom 4 is where we're going next, our next port of call. And let's do that quickly. The bottom 4, there you have it. Nasa Millionaires, Heartland, after 34 matches, just 42 points. Followed by Aqua United, of course, 38 points. Sunshine Stars, 38. And of course, Lobby Stars, done and dusted. It must be said. I don't know if there's any mathematics in that one. All right. So, Austin, of course, let's look at the matches that we've referenced and your thoughts. Are you still saying we should wait till the end?
Definitely, we should wait till the end. It's not over until it is over. And anybody will say, "Oh, Austin, what are you talking about? This is match day 34." Again, I say it, and I think Kehinde Idris was on the show. The 4 games to go, let Remo not win those games. Then you will understand. 7 points in football is just 2 draws. I always say it. Just play 2 draws and let the man that is chasing you win those 2 games. It cuts down to just 1 point, because the guy will get 6 points, and then you pick 2 points from 2 matches, and then you blink and start asking questions. But shout out to Remo Stars. I know going to Ibadan was a big test, and with the way Rivers United was breathing down their necks, they needed to go away. Now it's on record that they are the team with the most away wins this season, and that's just enough to give them the league title, because that's the Nigeria Premier Football League for you. If you can go away from home and pick points, and then you win your home games, then you're cruising. If they had won the game against Katsina United on match day 33, then I would have said, now it's over. But they didn't win that one. Shout out to Alex for that very important header to give Remo Stars that away win. And then with that, Oluyole Warriors, their season comes crumbling, because I was thinking they can do just enough to make it to the continent, but now it is very, very difficult. Yemi, who is favorite to win the NPFL title? It's Remo Stars. But they cannot afford to blink, because this league is very competitive. Let's leave Remo Stars now and talk about Heartland, a team that went away. They went to Enugu to win the last Oriental Derby of the season. They defeated Rangers 2-0, and had a vital game against Kwara United and played goalless. And now they drop back to the relegation zone. So you see how important it is to win. So if you look at it from that angle, and you want to put what's happening at the top, look at Abia Warriors. They were doing so well. They are formidable at home. They won a very important game against Rivers United. Emmanuel Ogwagu gave us a stunner of a goal. Arguably, the best goal I've seen this season. He struck that free kick from about 110 yards out, and he scored. Now, they are not good with going away. They lost terribly at Katsina United. Ikorodu went to El Kanemi Warriors in Maiduguri and didn't lose, and now they are third. You see how competitive it is. So with this analysis, this is me saying, look, if you blink, you start asking questions. Because when Ikorodu was going to El Kanemi, I said it on the show that it's going to be difficult. I called an away win in the game between Rangers and Lobby. It happened. I said Remo Stars might beat Shooting Stars. They ended up beating Shooting Stars, but I did not believe that Ikorodu City would get me talking. In fact, they scored first, and El Kanemi Warriors had to come. So this league is competitive. Remo Stars, do you want to give us history? Bring it on.
All right. So, interesting days in the Nigeria Premier League. So let's move on now. And I don't know if Kennedy Idris wants to say anything about, also need to talk about the teams in the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you see any of the teams clawing their way out?
Probably.
Maybe Heartland?
Yeah, maybe Heartland, because Heartland is on 42 points, but you have Nasarawa in 15th and also El Kanemi in 16th, and they are both on 43 points. Mm-hmm. That's just 1 point away from these two. Next game, like Austin had just
What about
said,
the teams on 38? Do you see the Aqua United, Sunshine
Maybe
stuff?
not so much. But I'm looking at the team who's got a point off, those teams who are out of relegation.
Seem more likely.
So 1 point, maybe a draw to Nasarawa United, a draw to El Kanemi Warriors, and a win top for Heartland, and they are already probably as high as 15. And that's what the NPFL is giving us. Look at at the top also. We're talking of the top 3 race. Probably Rivers United and Remo. They've taken spots for the continent. Now the final spot, which will be the Confederations Cup lone spot before the FA Cup winner gets to join. Ikorodu City 53 points, Abia Warriors 53 points, and you have Bendel Insurance with 50 points. I think this is how you want a league to be, where you cannot just close your eyes or just blink at this point.
I almost forgot, but for laugh's sake, for laughs, let me go back to Austin, and you have to do the bottom 4. I didn't know why you left it out. You have to.
I said that was very obvious. I had to leave it for the guests. but you see, I said it. I think it was from March day 35 and match day 30, I was saying Aqua United, if they don't win their next 5 games and show workings, then they are not ready. I think their biggest undo was on match day 33 when they played 1-1 in Uyo, and now it's looking so difficult. Sunshine Stars, for instance, also looking very difficult. I saw the way they fought against Rivers United in their last game, but it's not happening. But hey, 4 more matches to go, Yemi. If Nasarawa should blink, if even El Kanemi, Niger Tornadoes, if they blink, let's say Aqua United going to win 3 out of the 4 and lose 1, they can still, get out of that zone. I talked about Heartland, for instance. They did so well last week in Enugu. They had a chance to consolidate, against Kwara United, and they did it. They were out of the relegation zone. Now they came back. So that bottom 4 is going to be like that. So I was saying with confidence as at match day 30. Remember, I told you that Aqua United won't drop. But now, they need to prove to me that they don't want to drop. But I don't want to talk about them anymore. I wish them all.
All right. I'll save you the airtake, and we end that conversation about the bottom 4. All right, let's talk about the ladies now. I'll go across in a bit. Matches will be played tomorrow. Match day 13 fixtures for the ladies, Group A and Group B. I'll go across in a bit. Kaide Idris, your okay, let me just quickly go across because of time. Group A is where we're going to start. Match day 13 is what you have here. Nasra Amazons up against Edo Queens. Abia Angels up against Raymond Stars Ladies. Danas Ladies up against Atlant Queens. Confluence Queens will take on Ekiti Queens. All of these matches in Group A is going to be played tomorrow. It's match day 13.
Yeah.
Then, of course, let's look at Group B. Group B is the next place we're going. And, of course, it's going to come up on your screen in a bit. There it is. Bayelsa United. Did I just say Bayelsa United? Bayelsa Queens up against Rivers Angels. Delta Queens up against Niger Raiders. Ibom Angels up against FC Robo Queens. Then Benue Queens taking on Adamawa Queens. Kende Idris, let me get you talking about the ladies in a minute or two. Your impression, your overall impression. Most people have listened to, have been impressed.
Yeah.
But we've come to the business end. A few things settled, but we've come to the business end. Super 6 and the relegation are the issues that everybody's looking at.
Yeah. Nasarawa Amazons versus Edo Queens. One of the reasons I want to say this game, Nasarawa Amazons on their day, they are a very fantastic team. Also, still stand a chance to make the top 3 to be in the Super 6. For Edo Queens already sealed. So but this is a good game. Any day, anytime. I'm sure Edo Queens won't just go there and just sleep. They will play football. And then Abia Angels versus Remo Stars Ladies. Remo Stars Ladies, this will be a good testament. Probably, you can call them novice. Just set up maybe some 3 seasons ago, and then they're in the top flight now. Look at what they are doing. I really wish they can make it into the Super 6 and then, see how far they can go. Remo Stars boys doing so well. The ladies doing fantastic. Then you go to Group B, Bayelsa Queens versus Rivers Angels. This Group B is as tight as possible. I think it's way tighter than Group A, where you have also Ibom Angels versus Robo Queens. Robo Queens couldn't make Super 6 last season. They want to make it this time because they're one of the top teams. Now, this is where my take is. I love Robo Queens. I love Danas Ladies. I love Remo Stars Ladies and all of that. Southwestern team. I love Rivers Angels. I love Edo Queens. But one thing, all of the teams that will make Super 6, I'm hoping they are a formidable team because any of them would be the champion eventually.
Go on to represent.
And the champion will go on to what Bayelsa Queens are done, making 3rd in Africa. Somebody needs to better it. A team needs to better it. And we want that team to be the one that will represent us next at continental level. So I wish all those teams all the very best. But I've got my eyes on some certain teams. They look like they played the regular season so well. Let's see what they do in the Super 6.
All right. Let's move on quickly because we're pressed for time. Before we go to Austin's backyard, let's see if you can quickly take a look at the fixtures for the English Premier League. Then we yield to Austin to talk about the game currently going on. Also, we talk about it. But of course, tomorrow's game will be Arsenal against Crystal Palace in a bit. We'll listen to the managers. Austin, let's yield to you quickly. Tell us what's going on in the game between Aston Villa and Manchester City. Then, of course, you take us through what to expect in the matches to be played.
78 minutes already gone, Yemi. Scoreline stayed 1-1 at halftime, and then it came back. Just a quick background: 7 minutes into the game, Silva gave Manchester City the lead, and then a penalty was awarded to Aston Villa, and Rashford converted it. So it stays 1-1, and that hasn't changed. I see Pep doing everything, pushing them that they need to go out, because if City wins this game, they move up to 62 points, and then Nottingham Forest will drop to fourth. But if they leave it this way at 1-1, they will stay at 59 points and stay fourth. And that means they will still be tied on 59 points with Newcastle United. So they really need to win this game. But Villa has been showing signs that they also want it, because if Aston Villa wins it, they will also move out of the sixth position and probably land in fourth position. So this is a very important game for Manchester City and Aston Villa. And at the moment, it's 1-1.
All right, very interesting. Let's quickly talk about the game tomorrow, Arsenal and Crystal Palace.
Important one also, Yemi, because right here in England, the fans are saying they do not like the fact that Arsenal didn't win their last game, the game before the Ipswich game, that they need to win this one, prove a point, that they are that team that people can put in the conversation that can go all the way in the UEFA Champions League. And Mikel Arteta is saying, look, he believes in his team, that they can go get the job done against Crystal Palace at the Emirates Stadium. Let's listen to him.
We cannot think in those terms. I think when the players are fit and they are available and they want to play, they have to play. And they are at their best when they are playing and they have consistency in their performances. And physically they are good, emotionally they are good. Their understanding and their rhythm and the way they make decisions is at their best. And that's why we need the players. If they are not available, there's no discussion. And if they are not in good condition to perform, we're not going to play them. But if they are, we are going to play them. There's always a balance, and obviously you want to balance the risk and make sure that you are sensible with your decision making. But that's what we have as well, a very top staff to guide us and to tell us what we should be doing and what the risks when we do that. But unfortunately in football, anything can happen. And the game starts when the game finishes to write the story of what should have happened, and that's easy. So do it before. Unbelievable job. I think what is taking the team and the club and to be in the position they are right now, I think they fully deserve it. I think it's giving the team a very clear identity. I think it's maximized the squad and the ability of that squad. And they are really tough opponent. They are really well coached. I think it's got a very clear mentality how he wants to approach games, and they are very competitive. I mean, to reach the position there on the table and where we are in the FA Cup, certainly is not a coincidence, and I think they deserve it. A lot of things. I mean, to get a result like this in the Premier League, you have to do a lot of things right. We have to try to replicate those, but again, I said it's a really difficult opponent. When you look at the games and what they've done away from home, especially as well, against certain opposition, impressive. So tomorrow we're going to have to be really good.
All right, Mikel Arteta, of course, speaking his mind ahead of that game. As we prepare to wrap up, let's talk about the teams that have gained promotion and his celebration galore. Leeds United back in the Premier League. Austin Burnley back in the Premier League. I don't even fear for these teams because it appears these days they come back, they go down, they come back, they go down. But the moment is theirs, so let them enjoy it.
That's it, particularly for this club, Leeds United. They have arguably the most passionate supporters in England, and they are pretty, happy that they are back in the Premier League. And if there's any lesson in it for Leeds United and Burnley at the moment, is to take a look at the guys who gained promotion and are going back to the Championship. But look, these are beautiful times for Leeds. And when they were around the last time out, they actually did put up some good level of competition. But I think some financial constraints here and there also affected their performance. But this time, hopefully, they are back to stay for real. Let's take some talking points on the promotion of Leeds United and Burnley to the Premier League.
I'm proud of the boys. It's not easy in this crunch time period, a bit nervous period then to deliver performances, but we have done this in all of the last game days in fantastic fashion. Also today against the side who was actually in red hot form, so I think third in the form table of the last 5 games, unbeaten since a while, and then to win this game 6-0, front foot start, scored goal after goal, another clean sheet win. If we would have stayed with the foot on the gas in the second half, we could have perhaps scored a few more, but fantastic performance. I'm proud of the lads, also keeping in mind that this was a quick turnaround for us after pretty exhausting and energy costing away game at Oxford. Fantastic win for us, and of course priceless 3 points. Won so many balls, and it was never in doubt that we would win, but you have to bring it on the pitch. If you're starting into the game and thinking about, okay, what if, then you can't show this level of performance. You just have to focus on what we have to do, and this is what we have worked in the last days on, and let's delivered it in a fantastic fashion, and this was the key today. Yes.
For us, really, I think more so for everyone at the football club. So we set out on a mission this year, which was ultimately to get to this point, which we've done. There's been some bumps along that way, mate, and there's been there's a journey and a story to be told, and I'm just absolutely delighted for everyone, from ownership to staff, to the players, for their commitment and their sacrifice, really, over which has been a long season that we managed to get to celebrate. Early on, it wasn't exactly how the fans looked at it, and certainly I think I remember speaking vividly about that's not the way we want it to be. There was probably criticism from everyone, and I totally understand that. And that was part of the journey. They stuck with us with full commitment and supported us and trusted in every single one in this group, and trusted in myself and us as coaches that we would get us to where we need to get to. And their support tonight was immense. I'm delighted that we've managed to get this over the line.
All
right.
Yeah. Immediate bounce back for Burnley. Shout out to Scott Pakayemi. Is proving that he's the promotion master. Brought Fulham back to the league. I think brought Bournemouth back to the league. And he has done it across 3 seasons. So let's just hope that this time around, as we said, that Burnley will stay. It took Leeds 2 seasons to come back, but Burnley is an immediate bounce back. All the best to them. The game between Manchester City and Aston Villa is still 1-1. Mamouche scored a goal, by the way, 3 minutes ago, but it was ruled offside. As I said, Manchester City really need to win this one and to set the record straight here. If Aston Villa wins, they will actually climb to 3rd. This is a very important game because they will end with 62 points. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonak, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Well, it's a wrap here. I want to thank Kehinde Idris for his time on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Yeah, congratulations to Burnley and also Leeds United. Welcome.
All right. That's the show. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Emi Adebayo.